talk about that, but there is, again, I'm going to do this relatively quickly, but if I was to just try to hide this by way of an example, and let me just make this a little bigger. And what do I have? I don't have a full opacity here. That's why it's not blocking it out. Okay, so again, probably trying to just size this down. I'm going to do this real quickly. I think this one here, it seems like it'd be very easy to pick out in Photoshop, but some way to get this this down a little. And I'm going to go here and make another little small one and try to get it from over here as some one of its neighbors. And let me go off the screen. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say, let me clone that one. All right, but the point being here is I think you can see if we can do something to kind of get rid of these big bright lights, and again, a quick kind of thing, but you see what we've done to this photo. Remember, all of this hopefully will be on the video, so let's go to the next image here. And this is a very intriguing image to me. It doesn't have a, matter of fact, where's my stopwatch, Paul? You're right. I should be sitting with a stopwatch here. And I'm going to go to the next picture. Okay. All right, this picture kind of intrigues me a little bit here. I love the simplicity of it. I love where it's going. I'm not 100% sure if I'm seeing any color here or you already did it to black and white. Let me hit a reset and see where it was. Oh, looks like again, this one may make a good black and white. What were you trying to do here, Paul? Tell me what you were trying to do. And I say that, I'm making clicks for myself. You know, Paul, it's that kind of interesting because I could go off, and I found it was really interesting a couple of times for me to say to the person who I didn't know who I was critiquing, and they said, well, this is interesting. This could go well. This, I don't know, is the top kind of bright? I would hold the top down. Unless you intended the top to be bright, what were you trying to do here? And they felt so engaged, and I could
right. Yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna, my flow here. What was your intent? And I call that talk the next step. So tell me what you were trying to accomplish here. I feel the solitude of the boat, but how's this working for you? What have you been thinking about this?
Was that a question?
Yes. Yeah. I'm back on to. Oh. I'm off the script now and back onto human time.
Yeah, what I did is I cropped off the top of that, the high bright and the piece of land by itself.
Uh-huh.
So all I ended up with was that where your cursor is now.
Uh-huh.
I cropped down.
And the brightness on the top, I'm looking more at the brightness on the top. It seems
right.
I like the whole elevation, like reaching for the sky. I'm not sure if it's a little too hot or there's no detail up here, and it's
that was very hot.
Yeah. No, I see you brought it down somewhat because there was just little specular highlights here, yeah. This is I think one where we're in a kind of a personal range here. This monochrome holds the possibility of probably just going into a nice black and white.
That's where it was heading.
Sure. No. Okay. Good. Of course, I know half of these answers, but so in black and white, and I guess if I look at that, it seems to me that I see the brightness up in the top, and I see this rock. I don't know. I want to say it needs more contrast. But then I know what's going to happen to the top, and I know what's going to happen to the bottom. So I guess I see, first of all, I may go back to my old favorite, the vignette, okay, and see what that does, if that helps me. I kind of like the way it's holding the eyes in, although I can see it. So I may just get this effect. Let me make it dramatic for you so I can show you what I'm trying to do here. I think the feathering, I may make it really gradual.
Yep.
Let me go back to the 15 here. So again, what we did was something very, very little, but I like where it's starting to hold this rock down on the bottom. I guess my feeling is with this rock is I'd like to see it maybe a little darker. Let me go up here with some serious flow here. So let's just go here. And now, again, when I do this, it kind of looks like it's getting muddy. So I don't know if I'll increase the contrast, get myself a little brighter here. I need some sort of separation with this rock.
There you go. Right there.
Yeah, this is looking good because,
Yep.
you know, the separation, now we got a little bit of separation here. And I'm looking at the black and white, and don't forget, a lot of these things are a process. You're going to go back, you're going to look at them. And I think what I might do here is I just might try increasing the overall contrast. And if I try that, when I increase the overall contrast, now I may be losing the highlights here, but I could try bringing the highlights back in a little bit. You know, let me lower this contrast here and get the brightness just a little more so you can see what we just did here. So everything, you know, even as dark as we've made those highlights, it's still moving up. You know, it's still moving up. And now I see this wonderful line implied here. You know, this light. So it's, again, I almost feel like something over here, and I'm going to just be a little gross here, but I just want to, you know, I think this is very dramatic here, probably more dramatic than I want to make it, so let me see if I can go back. Or just try this again and just get it a little lighter. See that, Paul? I think it's leading. We went to the black and white. I think somewhere I have a history. It's a wonderful tool here. I have a history here, and I'm going to, so when I go back and forth, I can see it from the, see, it's a more rich, dramatic kind of lighting here, and I'm just going to go back and make sure when I look at this brush here, again, do I make it lighter? Do I lower the contrast? But what I'm trying to drive home here is that let's envelop the boat, because I think this is so strong. I may want to get this darker, and I have a darker brush here, but I would start a whole new brush just in case this needs to be something else. See, I'm saying even if we take this significantly down, it's still driving towards the sky, you know? Yep. And then the only other thing I would probably try to do with this sitting, and you know, obviously you can think more about this. There's obviously light falling on this boat. It's how much of it do we want to actually lighten up for reality? Again.
Yeah, in Photoshop, that whole boat has a layer by itself, just brightening up the light areas.
Okay, cool. That's good, because it needs something. And if you do something like this, some of the times, instead of increasing the contrast, I know if I increase clarity, this is a wonderful thing. It's kind of like a, it's like an edge contrast, so it looks for the edges. And if I shut this off, if we're looking at the boat here, you can see what we've done to the boat. And if it's a little too bright, again, we can tend to take it down or but maybe increase the contrast here, increase the brightness, see where it goes. But something, and like you say here with the highlights, I think you're on the right track here with the highlights. I don't know how much it needs to be toned down, the highlight, but they certainly could be if you felt as though you wanted to shape it a little bit, or I don't know, it's a nice leading line. But I think if I go back to the original here, you see where we've really drawn attention to this boat. Now when I turn this on and off, but I like what's happening, and the left side shadow that I put up here may be just a little too deep. So again, I could probably go here and try taking it up just a little. You see, now that looks a lot more natural, and maybe when we do this, we could say a little, but I think you got a lot of things working for you here, and I may now just go back to that vignette, and sometimes you won't know what this is until you get all your tonalities there, but here is the vignette. See that? And so whether we want to make this feather a little more, make it a little darker, feather a little more, just to make it blend.
You're in the 7 minutes on this.
Good. So it's going to take me it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes where,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And, all right. But you see, I think we've got a whole bunch of things going for us, and I'm not sure now that I go back, and this is a process, like I've said several times, and I'm looking at this now that I have the maybe overall brightness. I may want to look at this, and let's just whack this clarity up here, and this is, sometimes you have to look at this a little closer. Can you see the subtlety that's happening here? I'm going to show you that clarity back. Just a little edge.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back here with, I don't know if it's a brightness or a, well, now I have to see this.
There you go.
Now I think we got something.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. So it's just that here's the before, and we have everything going here. Now that I look at this, and again, a good thing to do is walk away and come back, because I'm still seeing this